What's going on, guys? On today's video, I just want to talk about how to get to the battery on my 2024 Yamaha XSR900. So the other week when I came out to ride my bike, I was like, where are my keys? And I realized I had left them in the bike turned on for a whole week. So the deal is I had to get a new battery. Now maybe you just need to jump start your battery, but mine was on for a whole week, so it had drained so far that the battery was just toast. There was no fixing it anymore. There was no recharging it. Just wouldn't hold a charge. So with all that said, I just wanted to show y'all how I got to the bike, how I got to the battery on my bike, because when I first opened the seat, I was like, man, that battery is a little hard to get to. So just wanted to show y'all how I got around to it. All right, so the first step to this is going to be to remove the seat. It's pretty simple. Everybody knows how to do this part. All right, now with the seat removed, what we need to do is remove these two side fairings. There's one on this side, one on this side. It's pretty simple. All you're gonna do, you have one of these on each side, right? One of those little silver, little quarter turn screws on each side. And then you're also going to have one pin here, one pin there, and one pin there. Now, these have a Phillips head screw on them, but for me that does not work. So what I had to do was take like a skinny sharp object, stick it into there, and just pry up on that. Then this one here actually pushes in. What I do for these Phillips screw looking things is I just have this pick, and I will just I've already kind of got a little spot that I've pulled it apart before already. So I'll just get up under there and pry it. Now you might be able to get like a screwdriver or a knife under there or something, but for those, they just come right out like that. And if that stays behind, you can just pick it out of there. Once that Phillips head part is pulled out, you're good to go. Now for this little bit here, you can just take an Allen key and just push it in, and then that pull out like that. And obviously these little quarter turn screws are really simple. They just come out just like that. Quarter turn, it's good to go. So what we have to do is pull out on it. I'll show you a little better on this side. There is a small little pin that's stuck in there, and then there's a grommet around that area that it's stuck on. So when you pull it out, you have to kind of pull out around that middle section and up front, and it'll just slide right out. And this is what's holding on the front here. And on the back, it's in this little side grommet. Now, the majority of the tools you'll need from here will be a variety of sizes of Allen keys, Allen wrenches. I'm not sure the exact sizes on these. I just had some laying around, and one of them is the size that comes with the bike and under the seat. You also need two other sizes, so I don't know why they don't give you every size you need for this bike, but that's what we have to work with. Now, first things first, what you can clearly see is there's this crossbar here holding the battery in. There's also this here that holds the fuel tank up. This is where your seat slides into, and it'll also block you from getting this battery out. So to start with, this is the size that the bike comes with, this Allen screw here. So you'll just take these two apart, one on each side. You'll drop the Allen wrench. All right, and remember which ones are coming from where when you're doing this. Now, up next is going to be this silver bracket on the front here. I just kind of like to loosen everything up. Okay, so you got these two bolts on the top here that come out, and then two on each side. Four total on the side. This is not a hard process. It's just more screws than I anticipated to be able to replace a battery. But it all comes apart relatively easy. And it'll all go back together relatively easy as well. And just be warned, when you release this screw right here, your tank will drop just a little bit. Your tank is suspended by this screw, so see that? Now this whole bracket comes out. All we've got left is a single screw right up under there. That holds this entire bracket on right here. Now, just a quick note. Your bike should have a rubber cover over your positive terminal. And the reason for that is so that we don't short out to ground on anything. So if your bike doesn't have that, that's a problem, because there are a lot of metal pieces around your positive terminal that could be an issue. So for us, we're going to be careful about it, but we do have that rubber piece protecting it so that it won't short out to ground. But any metal that touches that could be an issue. So just keep that in mind. Be careful with what you're doing. Don't touch metal to metal, basically. Now this piece, it has a little hook that it hooks to up on the front side of the battery. So it comes out really easy. It's just one screw and this little hook thing on the front here. All right, so for your battery, same way as every other battery, it's going to be 10 millimeter, and you'll remove the negative terminal first. Drop that too. That's required. Now you'll just want to kind of shove that back out of the way so it doesn't accidentally contact the battery again. Now, again, with this positive, this is plastic here, so it's not too big of a deal, but just be careful. You just don't want to touch anything crazy with the positive terminal. Pretty straightforward, just like any battery. And just like that, we have our battery out. I do want to talk about battery choices. I decided to go with this anti-gravity battery. It says it's a direct replacement for your stock battery, but it actually is a little taller. So I actually had to modify that little top bracket over top of the battery. But all in all, it's just a little bend you had to put in it. But I wouldn't necessarily recommend that. Maybe go with the stock battery. But I like this because it has a feature on here. That little button in the center, it'll hold just enough battery charge to start your bike if you do let it go dead because you leave it on for a week straight. It will not use the reserve until you push that button. So that gives you enough to start your bike and get going again so you don't get stranded. I do like that feature, but again, you have to modify the bracket to get this battery to fit in there, and it's a little goofy. So, you know, use this battery at your own risk. This battery is also like 2 pounds. It's super light. The stock battery isn't really heavy either, but you know, the lighter the better, I guess. I think this battery saves like 4 pounds over stock. I mean, or I think the stock battery is 6 pounds. And this one is 2 pounds. Here I'm just connecting the positive back. Again, these little small extra wires I'm putting back in are for my battery tender. If I was a smart man, I would have had it plugged up when my battery died the first time. Like I said, this little bracket, don't know if you can see it on video, but there is a little hook that this thing grabs onto down there. So So you're gonna hook that into there. All right, it's a little hard to show with one hand. You're gonna hook that into there on the front and come over the top. And then you'll put this little small screw back in. And we'll go ahead and tighten that one on down. Again, it's just safe to not, this battery does have extra positive and negative on the front side. So just make sure you're not touching the terminals with anything crazy there. Now next up we have this little black cross brace to go back in. And like I said, since this battery is a little taller than the stock battery was, I wrap mine with these, they're like wire loom tape type things. I just wrapped it with that just to make sure it wasn't ever going to be metal on metal there. So it does have that rubber on there, but this will make doubly sure that it's not going to contact. Next up we have this silver bracket that holds the fuel tank up. So when you're putting this in, you do have to kind of grab under the fuel tank a little bit and actually let me put these others, let me get these 4 started so that this is in the right place. So I'm just going to get these 4 on the sides, hand tight, just get them in there, because if not this bracket's going to want to slide all over the place on you. Alright, so we have those 4 just started in there just so that the bracket's in the right spot. Like I said, you're gonna have to pick up on this fuel tank just a little bit, kind of line those holes up. And once you get one started, should be relatively good in there. And the second one will go in easy. Now we're gonna go ahead and tighten the fuel tank side down first. Go ahead and snug those up. Now we'll tighten our 4 on the sides down. All right, now we're on to the fairing pieces. So it's pretty easy to figure out which side is which. I believe the right side is easier to go on first, because this little divot here, the left side sits inside of that. Now all you're doing down here is sticking that little red pin down in there next to my finger into that rubber grommet right there. So that sticks in nice and easy. And then you need that little red bracket there to go in up under that bolt head there. And then it just pops right in. Now you just want to make sure that your bolt holes look lined up, and they do. Now you see how that just slides right over that? That's why I said the right side is easier to put in first. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my 1/4 turn screws in. It's real simple, they just stick right in here. You'll see everything's lined up right. Stick them right in and kind of put some pressure on them and give them a turn, and there they are. The same the other side. This side's kind of giving me a hard time a couple times, but it's all right. Now with this one in the center, what you want to do is actually push it back out. See, it's like that now, and then it will slide right into there, and then you just push it flush. And with these that are the screw type, I said mine don't screw, so I just pull them out, make sure they go in there, and push the screw head back down. Now after all that's said and done, we have our battery installed. All we got to do is put the seat back on, give it a click, find my keys, and then we'll see that everything works just right. Well, if I put it in neutral, it will start. All right, guys. That's how to install the battery on a 2024 XSR900. If this helped, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing. See you next time. Thanks.